Our next inductee is the late Marty Hurley. An East Coast native, Marty began his drum corps career as a member of a number of corps, including the Blessed Sacrament Golden Knights and the Hawthorne Caballeros, as he perfected his craft under the tutelage of legendary percussion instructor Bobby Thompson. He began his tenure as a drum corps staff member with many Louisiana groups in the early 1970s, including the Southern Rebels, Stardusters, and the Blue Raiders. From 1973 to 1975, he was an instructor with the Belleville Black Knights. He was then hired in 1975 by DCI Hall of Fame member Dan Richardson to staff Phantom Regiment's drumline. He would be a fixture with the regiment as percussion arranger and caption manager for nearly 2 decades. Dr. Dan remembers Marty as extremely passionate about the competitive side of drum corps activity, though he never let that get in the way of his love of teaching and interacting with both the percussionists and with members of other sections of the corps. Marty's close ties to his students is a point underscored by John Wooten, a protege of his during the 1980s as a member of the regiment snare line. Wooten said, "Although Marty was a fierce competitor, the successes of his students are his most prized accomplishments. He was an intense teacher who demanded excellence from his students. He was a man of integrity and honor." Sadly, Marty passed away in September of 2011 at the age of 65.
On behalf of Martin Ezekiel Hurley III, I want to thank everybody with Drum Corps International for this wonderful honor. I know he'd be so happy and he would want to be here. In his place, I have asked Dr. John Wooten to speak about Marty and his involvement with the Corps. Thank you very much.
Marty pushed the drum corps activity as a whole. I would like to share a few quotes from his colleagues and students. He taught us all so much. I will miss his unique way of an unwavering standard. Tom Annam. I too saw him as a fierce competitor. He made us all work harder. Matt Savage. Thank you, Marty, for helping us shape the activity. Scott Johnson. Marty respected Bobby Thompson and stated to him, "He always was teaching you so much." The same can be said about Marty. Ken Mazer. I was awed by how well he played on the Drummers Heritage Concert at PASIC 2002. He always gave 100% and brought so much to the marching table. Dennis DeLucia. I'll remember him as an expressive performer, demanding pedagogue, and fierce competitor. They don't make them like him anymore. Jim Campbell. Marty was one of the last great saviors of true rudimental drumming in DCI. I learned oh so much about marching percussion after going head-to-head with Marty during our competitive days. His style and approach to drumming brought me back to my roots of rudimental drumming and then some. Ralph Hardiman. When in his presence, his greatness inspired others to live up to his level. Jeff Prosper. One of my proudest accomplishments was to bring Marty back to Phantom Regiment, introduce him to the players each year, and make sure he got the acknowledgement and respect he deserved after so much dedication and selflessness given to that organization. Paul Rennick. I could go on. I have about 100 quotes. Marty Hurley will always be remembered for being a champion educator. His teachings will live on forever through his students and his students' students. He is a DCI icon and legend. There are a lot of people who can say that Marty Hurley was the most influential teacher in their lives. I happen to be one of them. On behalf of Marty's widow, Miss Paulette, his brother Jimmy, his niece Jamie, the rest of his family, his extended Phantom Regiment family, and all of us who knew and were lucky enough to study with Marty Hurley. Thank you to the DCI Hall of Fame Committee for honoring Marty Hurley and inducting him into the DCI DCI Hall of Fame. You see, Miss Paulette, you weren't the only one that loved Marty Hurley. Thank you.